Hi, I'm Chad with Move Forward Guitar. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play minor triads in close position. First off, if you click the link on the screen or the links in the description as well, you can download our Triads e-guide, and you can download that for free. And in this e-guide, it's going to contain all the diagrams for this lesson as well as many more. So it'll be really useful to you. Like I said, it's free, so no reason not to just go download that. But I am working on it right now as I'm filming this lesson, so as you're watching this lesson, it might not be available yet, and it'll say coming soon. So just watch out for when it does become available. But don't worry, you don't need the e-guide to follow along with this lesson because all the diagrams will be on the screen. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you minor triads in close position. And don't worry about what close position means. I'll have other lessons that talk about that. I'm going to show you the actual chords that I'm playing, so you'll just be able to get them down and start using them. And if you need a little bit of theory about triads or a little bit of explanation about what they are, if you don't understand them, you can click the link on the screen or there's a link in the description, and it'll take you to a lesson that I did that gave a little bit of theory about triads, and you can go watch that if you need it. It'll be a good primer for this lesson. But if you don't need it, just follow along in this lesson. I'm going to show you how to play them, and you can start practicing them and start using them right away. So I'm going to play each one of these triads up the neck. And as I play each one, on the screen there'll be a diagram that shows you the inversion that I'm playing. And in that diagram, it's going to show you the intervals of the chord, not the fingerings that I'm using. It's really important to be able to visualize where these intervals are in the triads, because this is really the basis for understanding harmony and building more advanced chords and everything you do in music. So it's really important to see where the intervals are. And also, fingerings can change from person to person or from playing situation to playing situation. And what works best for me might not be what works best for you. And like I said, the playing situation you're in can determine what the best fingering is. So that's why the diagrams show the intervals, not the fingerings. And I'm going to play each one of these as a C minor triad. And I'm just doing them as C minor because I can start in root position with the first string set that I'm doing. So that's the only reason I'm starting in C. But these shapes are going to stay the same no matter what key you're in. So obviously you're just going to be on a different spot on the neck in different keys, but these shapes stay the exact same. So I'm just going to start with C minor in root position on the first, second, and third string. And then when I go through all those inversions, I'm going to go to the next string set and play them on the second, third, and fourth string, and so on until I've covered all the strings. So here's C minor triad starting in root position. So those are C minor triads, and I just started with the lowest one that I could reach towards the headstock for each string set without using open strings. So when I started on the first, second, and third string, I started in root position, but you'll have noticed that that changed as I went to the other string sets. That's just because, like I said, I want to start with the lowest one I could reach down towards the headstock without using any open strings. So when you practice them, play them like I did, where you start and play them horizontally. You can start with the first, second, and third string with C minor in root position, play them horizontally, and go through each of the string sets, play them up and down, and then play them in a random order so that you're not just building muscle memory based on the order that you're playing them in. If you just play them in a specific order, you'll build muscle memory just based on that order you're playing them in. So randomize the order, and then once you can do that, play them vertically instead of horizontally. And the way you do that is to start, if I started with root position on the first, second, and third string, I would take my highest note and move it to the lowest note each time. So for example, this next one I would take my G, if I was playing a C minor, I'd take my G, move it to the lowest note, then I end up with this one. Then I would take my E flat, move that to the lowest note, I'd end up with this one. Then I'd take my C, move it to the lowest note, I'd end up with this one. So you can see that just by taking the highest note, moving to the lowest note, you can move vertically instead of horizontally. And they're still the same shapes that we were using when we were going horizontally. It's just a different way to play them to really help you nail these down. And all these are in the e-guide. It'll show you how to do this, but you don't need the e-guide to actually be able to figure it out. I think if you just watch what I just said again, if you need to, you'll be able to figure it out pretty easily and figure it out for each inversion. So do that for each inversion after you do it for the root position. And be sure to check out our other triad lessons where I'm going to show you how to do this with all the other chord types. And be sure to subscribe because we add at least one new lesson every day.